Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the 790th day of continuous uninterrupted Zoom session of IFPH. Today, our guest is Dr. Raksha Thakker, BHMS CCAH, Coordinator, she and her Trust Women Empowerment Mumbai, Trustee of TJ Educated Society, Committee Member of Wagle Estate Doctors Association Thane. Meena Bagalal Charitable Trust, which conduct various camps, seminars, and also help students through sessions in homeopathy. Honored by elite magazines in Punjab, also facilitate bachelor therapy with 18 years of experience.
Thank you, sir, for the lovely introduction. And I am truly grateful to the team for inviting me, sir. Thank you. So it's transformational education. So I would be sharing a case along with it. Now, what is transformational education? Like when a homeopathic remedy is prescribed to the patient, as we see, we call it as healing. And even alternative therapies, you might be aware that they say Reiki healing and all. So it is healing. Basically, the transformation, the changes in the personality of the patient. Okay, so it's just like meditation, sort of. You could say the homeopathic medicine, similarly, it acts in such a way that it is like a meditative process where we change the personality of the patient, and the acceptance is the key. First, it comes the acceptance, and then comes the healing. So we will be able to know about this more through the case which I will be sharing, because along with the main video, I will be sharing the follow-up of the case as well. So just observe the body language and gestures of the patient as well. Okay. So before we start, let's bow down our head to the master, the creator of the most beautiful science, that is homeopathy, Dr. Samuel Christian Frederick Hahnemann, sir. It is a divine gift, I would say, that he has bestowed to us all, and hence through the divine Lord and as well as our hands, we are being instrumental, the healing is possible. Next slide, sir. So expressing gratitude to the team, the International Forum of Homeopathy, for promoting homeopathy, Dr. Bob sir, Dr. Dhanesh sir, Dr. Atinarayan Ganaidu sir, Dr. Babu Ranjan sir, for inviting me to conduct this session, and to all the delegates for joining in. Thank you so much. So we are interconnected to the environment, the human beings, any animal, even human beings, any living being in this world are connected through the environment. It is a coping mechanism, and when they can't adapt, they cannot cope up, there is a tussle. So the previous slide. So they can't adapt, and then there is a conflict between the two. So when there is a conflict, the patient, so the previous slide. Am I audible? Yeah. So then man is a rational animal, and there is a tug of war, we could say, between the environment and man. So then that leads to a conflict. N number of adaptations takes place, wherein our homeopathic remedy, when given, then it brings about the transformation in the patient. And change is always mandatory in life. Every second there is transformation, there is a change in an individual. So change is mandatory in health, and this homeopathic remedies acts as an aid. Aid means helping the patient, and thus helping him lead a normal, fruitful life. Next slide, sir. No matter what is going out there, our personal experience is being created. So when we are in connection with the IPR, the interpersonal relationship, along with the environment, be it social financial, economical, and when we are dealing with it, there is an experience behind it. We are experiencing, and that has an impact on the psychology. Hence, whenever we cannot cope up, there is a psychosomatic diseases. Psychosomatic meaning. Yeah. So once the slide will be shared, then that time it will be like along with the slide sharing in alignment. Okay. So along with the slides, I am explaining each and every slide step by step. So it is based on the experience that the psychology, there is an impact on the psyche, and any diseases, it is psychosomatic. The psyche affected reflected on the soma. Soma is the body. Okay. And that is the invincible power of the mind to cope up the thought, the consciousness. Okay. So when we can cope up, then incredible things happen. And when we cannot cope up, there is a conflict. So we'll just catch a glimpse through the case. The circumstances, the trait, the upbringing, the origin that leads to drastic changes. Morbidity then sets in. The reason for the conflict is the interaction, as I told earlier, at the social level, financial level. That too holds prime importance. The evolution, the changes, the modification, the journey. Now, we have already learned about evolution even in history. So the Homo sapiens sapien, the wise man, the copper age, the stone age has progressed in life. Similarly, the remedy, say for example, the remedy being sepia. I will just give an example. The remedy being sepia. Day one, the patient was not sepia. It's the circumstances, and through the circumstances, the personality became a sepia remedy. To evolve under every given circumstances is like the man is a rational animal, higher understanding human being. So let's understand the same with the help of a case presentation. Next slide, sir. So the main case. Sir, can we have the video being played? I shared the video. If it is feasible, then we can share the video. Otherwise, the transcript is also written in the case slide. The case is in Hindi, but just observe the body language and the gestures. For the non-Hindi speaking people, I have written the transcript. The entire transcript is there in the slide, and I will share with you everybody. All the slides has the entire transcript.
Right now,
Just watch the patient. Observe his body language and gestures.
ટીવી યુનિટ નું હવે આટલું આમ બનાવેલું છે ને તો રેડીમેડ માં 6 કાઉન્ટર વાળું આવે જ છે 20-22 રૂપિયા તો ઈ લેવું હોય તો ઈ લે તો ઉપર બોર્ડ સાથે બી આવે છે તારો કોઈ નંબર મળ્યો ઓલા નથી અને ભીવંડી માં અહીં છે અને બાકી બધાના રૂમમાં છે ને સેટઅપ બોક્સ ને આના માટે છે ને આપણને રૂમ બનાવવું જ છે બધાના રૂમમાં એટલે આનું છોડીને સાતમી લેન્સ કરવા કરતા બોક્સ જ બનાવી લઈએ એના અંદર સ્વિચ બોર્ડ રહી જશે ને વાયર બધું સુકાઈ જશે કે સાહેબ દેખાશે બોર્ડ તો આવવાનો જ છે નીચે એના અંદર જ ખાલી આવી રીતે બોક્સ ટાઈપ બનાવી નાખ્યું એ તો રેડીમેડ માં મેં તો જોયા ઓલા જો આઈડિયા માં જો એમાં લખ ટીવી રૂમ ટીવી યુનિટ બોર્ડ કાઢતો છે આઈડિયા માં જો રેડીમેડ હોય તો કંકાળી દીધું एक्चुअल में तो आलू का तो आने का तो सस्ता में बन रही है तो कार्टन में इन लोग एक्स्ट्रा आने का सस्ता में बना ऐसा तो नहीं बना ना पर के तू बॉक्स बनावવાનું છે સ્ક્રૂ કરવાનું છે સમય કા ઠોકવાનું છે આ શું રૂમ ટીવી from the unit.
This is the follow-up video. See the changes, the facial expressions now. Earlier he was in agony and now see the changes. See the body language, the folding of the hands. The confidence has increased after our remedy. Thank you, sir. So the case was actually he is the security guard at the complex which I stay. So this patient is the security guard there. So male patient, age 45 years, comes with the chief complaint of lower backache since 6 months. Then his profession is a security guard. The family status, he stays with wife, and wife currently is a housewife. Actually, this case, after COVID, it was taken. So wife was working as a teacher earlier, but then due to lockdown and all the schools were off, so she was staying at home, and two kids and aged parents. Parents are fine, but at times they have to go in for the medical checkup, and also all the expenses this person has to bear. So one kid studying in FYJC, that is 11th standard, and the other and he is 17 years old, and the other one is in first year, 19 years old. So the train's case transcript is as follows. Doctor, I suffer from lower backache since 6 months. If you have observed the video, the particular portion which he is pointing out, that pains a lot since 6 months. He took allopathic medicine, but without much relief. And he says, I am the sole earning member in the family. So you could see the agony, the pain in the first video. He had so much pain, so much agony that since 6 months he has been suffering. And I was having this evening walk. So he told me, "Ma'am, aapko dikhana hai," in Hindi. So it's like, "Madam, I want to show you." So I said, "You meet me in the evening time so that I can take your case. We'll take it in the garden itself, the complex garden, and then you can share me the case." So he said, due to COVID and online classes, the expenditure has increased. Then he had to buy a new mobile also because online classes and Android mobile app is required for that. So he said, due to this kids online classes, he has to buy that. And along with the school, the tuition fees, so the expenditure has increased. So he cannot save on the finances. So when COVID was not there, that time everything was going fine. Then I asked him, "Do you have any salary issue? Do they pay you regularly here?" He said, "No, salary is not a problem. But because of COVID, all the expenditure has increased and I have to manage with that much sum of salary. And it is getting difficult for me now to cope up." And as we said earlier, it is coping mechanism. So parents are too old, so have to take care of their age-related illness and the medical expenses here with that follows. Wife had job earlier and left the same due to corona pandemic. I'm worried about household expenses, kids' fees, and all the expenditure with less savings. Because now bare minimum he can save. Earlier he could save, but due to COVID and he had to buy the mobile phone, that too an Android app because online they will need, the kids will need. So how do you manage? I asked him. So all alone. Then I said, "Why not tell the kids to do part-time job?" Then he said, "They are totally dependent on me, ma'am. And for every single thing, they keep calling. That what do I do? What do I do now?" So sending them to job is also not feasible. And even if they go, they will, I'm damn sure they're going to return back. They will not be doing the job. So I manage all alone. The family members too must share some responsibility. I am the sole bread earner of the family. When I feel low, I share with my wife. Any major decisions in the house are taken by the parents and we agree to the same. So like it's not dominance of the parents, but as a respect, we obey. We abide by whatever they say and we obey. In case of any conflict or difference of opinion, it at times irks me and I go out of the house and return after some time. Once the matter is somewhat cooled and everybody has maintained their composure, that is the time when I return back. So main emphasis was on his poor financial condition and how do I manage? Too much insecurity about the same. How do I manage daily expense as well as the future was his main concern. So this was the basic gist of the case. Okay, next slide. So remedy was given in 200 potency, 4 pills TDS for 3 days. As when he approached me, the pain was very intense. Follow up after a week, 80% relief. He used to go to gym. So he used to lift up weight and he lifted 50 kgs weight. So that also had the strain on the back. So I told him, per se, stop with the gym exercises. Once you feel little better, you can do exercises, but try lifting some little weight, not the heavy weight. Light one you can do later on. But currently, you don't have to do all these exercises and you can do but a milder one. And then again, after 1 month, I had to repeat this dose, same in 200 potency. Thakker was followed and currently the patient is all fine. As you saw the follow-up video as well. So he's saying 80 to 90% is better. So now lower back ache. What are the causes? If there is a book, sir, I will even mention in the WhatsApp. You can heal your life by Dr. Louis Hay. So I've taken reference from that book. It says back represents the support system. The upper back, the shoulder part is the burden, lack of emotional support. The middle is the guilt stuffed up all there. And the lower back is the fear of money, lack of financial support. So you correlate, even if we correlate with the patient, see, he was saying lower back by Dr. Louise Hay. Well, she has mentioned in her book, You Can Heal Your Life is the book name. She says lower back, fear of money, lack of financial support. I will even write in WhatsApp group the book name. I will share the PDF as well. So this is the basic issue. Upper back, burden, lack of emotional support, middle back, guilt stuck up all there, and lower back, fear of money and lack of financial support. Next slide, sir. So homeopathy is very useful in solving the back spine issues as cervical spondylosis, spine pathology, along with yogasana and physiotherapy is also required at times. When the pain is very intense, the alternative therapy, physiotherapy helps. Along with that, yogasana, the yoga exercises. So yogasana such as Bhujanasana and Uttarasana, Gomukhasana, Pachamithosana under the supervision of yoga experts help. I will be sharing the slide later of yoga also. The slide is there. You can take a screenshot, which will be very useful for your patients as well. Okay. Next slide, sir. So analysis and evaluation of the case. So anxiety about family as only sole earner of the family. Anxious about the basic need. So this remedy, this person is concerned about the daily bread and butter. How am I to survive? When the expenditure is increasing and I am the sole earner, and how do I survive on a daily basis? So this remedy, I will be telling the remedy further. First, we'll go through the analysis. Due to COVID, expenses increased. Patient is taking all responsibility. Before COVID was managing all along with wife, but now financial insecurity due to COVID, expenses increased. Now wife is also jobless. Anxiety about family matters and about the future. Next slide, sir. So the rubrics, and I have referred to synthesis repertory. Mind, anxiety, future about. Mind, anxiety, money matters about. Mind, delusion, poor he is. Mind, delusion, want he will come to. So want means I will have to starve. There is a difference between want and need. His basic need is not fulfilled, so he'll have to starve, and want he will come to. So the survival matters now. So the remedy given was calcarea floor in 200 potency, first dose, followed by another dose of calcarea 200 after a month, and he is all fine. So let us understand it through the periodic table. Next slide, sir. So through the periodic table, so the calcarea floor. So the calcium is the fourth row issue, if you see, and the fluorine is in the column 17 as per the slide. Okay. So what are the issue of row 4 and column 17? Let's go through. Next slide, sir. So poor in terms of resources, want he will come to. So he had the resources earlier, but the expenditure increased due to COVID lockdown, where all the shops, all the offices were shut down. Even his wife, being a teacher, she had to sit at home. Even the schools, colleges were shut down, so she had to sit at home. So he was the only person who was earning. If the resources are over and the expenses keep increasing, tuition fees, school fees, Android mobile, he will have to be dependent on someone for his basic needs on others. Anxiety and fear may then makes them to work harder. The core of calcarea floor, sir, the core of calcarea floor is fear of poverty and delusion want he will come to. So he has to survive. So row 4, that is the calcium column. Okay, and it is a combo like calcium and the fluoride element. So first, this is of calcium. Row 4 theme, security, protection, routine, mass and solid, safety, task, shelter, endure and fatigue, consolidation, robbers, defenses, then police, crime, force, and opposition. This is the entire row theme. So row 4 description is security and task. The issue in row 4 is of security, which in terms of money, finances, relationship, house, job, and health. It represents the development of one security or adding of mass or security with which one develops the ability to defend or safeguard oneself. Here the issue is all about doing a routine on an everyday job. So this person is also worried about daily routine, daily basic needs. The process of accumulating mass from outside is the important theme of row 4. If you see, even arsenic is there, sir, in this row 4. So you need to know. Okay, this is the exercises I was talking about. Exercise to reduce lower back pain. You can take a screenshot, and as it will be useful to your patients as well. Just go through. So theme of calcarea floor remedy understanding the different facets. So fluoride is tooth enamel is also fluoride. It provides security to teeth. So this person also requires security. Calcarea also requires security. Fluorine elements combined also requires security. Same can be correlated in the case the need for security. The fear of losing his security, insecurity marked, and fear of poverty. Tremendous anxiety about job, possible financial loss. मेरी ये job secured है ना, so if the job is secured, I will be able to manage. But supposing if the job is gone, how I will be able to manage the daily routine, daily schedule? So tooth enamel, see the diagram. Fluoride is commonly used in dentistry to strengthen the enamel, which is the outer layer of our teeth. Okay, so just refer to the diagram as well. Fear that they might become needy and poor, and they will soon be running astern financially. Fear of poverty, fear of financial or emotional want, strong need of security and reassurance that financially I'll be stable, so I'll be able to manage. So these are basically the laborer class people. So that is the image which I have shared. So worried of the future, how he will manage. If anything goes wrong, the daily wages, the laborer's remedy. Calcarea floor is known as the laborer's remedy. He will be left with nothing and will have to find some means for survival, basic needs. As in Hindi, they say roti, kapda, makan. So it's like your basic need, the food, shelter, and clothing. So whenever you come across these three words, food, shelter, and clothing, calcarea floor is the remedy, the laborer class. Basic need to be fulfilled is the requirement of calcarea floor. If you got to see the image, roti, kapda, and makan, that is the food, the clothing, and comes the shelter. The most important need of human is investment, emergency fund, and insurance. So this person is also concerned about the security, the finance, that we save, we invest, so that we can anytime use that money in emergencies. So we end this session with a note, and I would quote it: education is not just understanding the facts, but training the mind to think. Thank you to all the delegates joining in, and thank you to the team for the privilege and an opportunity to share my insights on a remedy through case presentation. Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to add, so if we see, this was the holistic approach. We even took the help of yoga. We even took the help of physiotherapy. In such cases, physiotherapy may be required. But I didn't ask him to go in for physiotherapy because as it is, he was not having money. So visiting a physiotherapist, again, he had to bear with the finance. So I just suggested him later that you can go do yoga. Otherwise, physiotherapy also helps. So at times, what happens, sir, that be it allopathic or be it homeopathic, a single therapy, a single medicine, no, anything beneficial for your patient, you can approach them, and one must not hesitate to approach. Be it any therapy, if it is beneficial for your patient, no problem in approaching to an allopath, to a homeopath, to a yoga therapist, to a physiotherapist. The main criteria, the main motto is holistic approach. About massage therapy, it is mentioned. So
Yes.
massage also we can provide to the patient. Like
Yes.
anybody providing with the massage therapy also can be added. The basic criteria as per is the aphorism number one. The physician's high and only mission is to restore the sick to health, to cure as it is termed. So to
But the,
restore the sick to health
yes,
by
but
any means.
but what happens is on a superficial reading, we can interpret as treat or relieve. But Hahnemann used the term cure. That is the difference. That is homeopathy. It is
Yes.
not treating.
The
So
second aphorism, ideal cure.
yes, on easily comprehensible principles. That's I have tell. So it's a reading between lines is more important in homeopathy. Dr. Thanesh is there. Dr. Thanesh.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Good
Raksha,
evening.
Thakker, doctor. It's a very fine presentation. And your
Thank you.
explanation and finding the calcareous floor as a medicine is something different from others because a remedy, you have shown how beautifully it works. It is, you have chosen using the repertory chart as well as the periodic table and everything. But most of us does not know how this periodic table being to be used in this selection of medicine because you people are following Shankaran's methods. I think that may be the reason you are always searching that periodic table with. But we, as usual, no, are not running towards these Shankaran methods, but because it takes a lot of time to want to understand what is. What in Shankaran's demonstrated in that way. And that's the reason why you told that the calcarea and floor in different rows, 4th and 16 in, rows like that, and how it combined together to form calcarea floor and how it works on the physical aspect of the man, particularly the bone marrow, I think. And that may be the reason why that man having this, so much of trouble was cured with the calcareous floor. But usually we use calcareous floor as low potencies, not the high potency like 30 or 300, 200 or 1 but because of your experience, you people are going towards not really seeing calcareous floor as a biochemical remedy. Instead, you are finding it as a constitutional remedy. That is the basic difference between a medicine and a substance. But the one is biochemic substance, and the other is typical homeopathic medicine. And the basic difference between the plane of active action also is different in both. Am I right, Dr. Raksha?
So it's the as what you said, the point biochemic and constitutional. So this is the constitutional aspect. A very nice point highlighted by you. And basically, if you see the video, the agony, the pain which he was having, and it was seen through the facial expression. And in the second video, what a confidence! He is sitting with hands folded. So that is the dynamic power. And if you see, there is freshness, the glow on his face. So the first thing which is to be resolved would be the sleep aspect. Then the appetite. First is the generals which are to be better. So once the general is better, then comes the mental physical plane. So when it comes to general, the sleep and the appetite will be fine first followed with the mentals and the physicals amelioration.
Yes,
So first, when the generals are fine, then you are rest sure that the remedy is working.
So the most important point is to look at the patient and listen to the patient and look at the gestures and finding the rubric out of the finding the symptoms out of these gestures, as well as the uh, uh, things the patient intended to tell you. But these are the four things. If you the physician not in right time, definitely you will be a winner in choosing the right remedy and of course curing the patient. Because you have treated this case, this is supposed to be an incurable case as far as the modern uh, people. But this method of homeopathy is really not giving any palliation, but instead making the patient cure, as
Yes.
we used to say the term cure. Am I right?
So any doubts in regards to this case or the essence, of calcarea floor? So among the participants, if they need to ask any questions.
Yes, we are waiting for that, doctor. Meanwhile, we can have some to deliberate. So I think the calcarea floor is the Rustox, hot version of Rustox. Almost all medicines are there. Kali sulfuricum is a wonderful medicine, potentized form. Datramor, then the Kalimor, calcarea force. Almost all medicines should be used in a potentized form. That is homeopathy. The other one is only an offshoot of homeopathy. It is considered, it can be useful, but the most ideal thing is to give potentized medicine. Don't depend or treat behind this cellular level, this materialism is homeopathy. This homeopathy is different.
So the
So I
other
think,
remedies, like say the therapeutic one and the specific one will work, but that will be temporary. We want to
yes,
give permanent relief. So temporary we can give, no problem. But then again and again, if the symptoms will relapse, then it's like better to give a constitutional one. So this will cover the mental as well as the physical. So even the mental aspect was covered along with the physical aspect. Hence, constitutional works much better as compared to the therapeutic specific ones.
yes. Dr. Herring said this medicine, Kalimor, is born of breech presentation. It is common, it is but so not natural. Now, Dr. Hariharan sir is there who raised the hand. Yes, sir, please.
Dr. Hariharan wants to ask.
Yes, sir.
Okay, doctor. Different methods.
Hello, sir.
Different methods are here. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, according to him, several methods. One of the method you described, it is the constitutional method. That is fine and fantastic. It is good. Through that way, we can control the agony of the patient and anxiety of the patient, and their way through the mind we can cure the pathology of that patient. That is the constitutional method, good and fine. But another method is here, that pathological method. Pathological method, usually I am using this such method, and sometimes I will go through the pathological method also. That would also give good result. See, suppose a patient is coming with back pain, usually I will advise him to take an MRI scan, and I can find out the real cause of the pathology. What is the pathology is there? Sometimes it may prolapse or sclerosis or something else. That way also, if we consider calcarea fluoris is fine and fantastic medicine. See, high potency with the low potency, if we give the symptoms will be relieved. But the constitutional method is fine and fantastic, because at the same time his mental agony is also removed. That is the difference.
See, aphorism number 3, knowledge of disease is also equally important. I would have asked him to undergo investigations like basic X-ray test, but as it is, he is having the financial problem. So I opted, let's give the remedy. If it doesn't work, then later we can opt for the investigation. But I was aware of the knowledge of the disease, and the basic thing was his weightlifting, 50 kgs each day, lifting the weight. So then it will have a strain on the back.
Okay.
That was the basic first thing I understood through the case. Investigation, he was non-affording, so I would prefer waiting, and I chose to wait and then see. After giving the remedy, let's see. And supposing if it didn't have worked and had it been that grave, then maybe say the lumbar disc prolapse and all, then surgical intervention would have been needed. But first, I opted for let's wait. The pain was severe, no doubt about it. But then I said, let's wait, and then further, if need be, then we can get an investigation done. But if an affording patient and he can afford, then you can go in for the investigations as well.
Okay, doctor, see, the constitutional method is very fine. That through that way we can remove the pathology, even though it is a prolapse.
So
It will
it's
be
like,
removed.
it's
That
like
I
this,
am sure. I am
man
sure
in the
about it.
disease is important. It is
Okay.
the man as well as the disease which is more important, both of them. But
Okay.
when you know the disease proper, the criteria, you can differentiate between the common and the characteristic symptoms. And in
Doctor,
homeopathic prescription, according to aphorism number 153, peculiar, queer, rare, strange holds prime importance, and that we consider for homeopathic prescribing.
okay, this
When
is
you
the
are aware of the knowledge of disease, it will help differentiate between the common and the characteristic symptoms.
okay, correct. Doctor, your way is very correct. According to your way, the resultant, the resultant of agony and the anxiety is that pathology.
Yes.
Is that pathology? That pathology is removed by you. If you remove the agony and anxiety, that pathology is automatically removed and the patient will be
The
cured.
basic
Sure,
thing is I observe him every day because he's the security guard at the complex. So indirectly I observe him each day as well.
But one of my suggestions is here, doctor. Do not give exercise during the course of treatment.
And I had my mentor saying that if a case is given to you and 10 years record, if you have of that patient, then you can say complete ideal cure. So till the time he is there in the complex, I can observe and I can keep a record as well.
Okay, doctor, you see, as a common rule, I am adopting is give rest to that particular point, give rest to particular point. If it is in vertebral column or in any
So
joint.
whenever he comes across, I ask him, "Are you fine, madam? आपका dose से ठीक है, अच्छा लगता है, ऐसा अभी कुछ लेने का जरूरत नहीं, बोला any time you need, just let me know."
Okay, doctor, you are a good doctor. Appreciating you. Come again with this such a type of
2
cases.
doses in a gap of 1 month.
Okay, thank
200
you.
potency.
Thank you.
And potency I selected lower because it is a pathological. And if the mentals are higher, then I would have opted for a higher potency.
200 is enough.
Pathological. And supposing if it is grave, then we will be opting for 30 potency.
Doctor,
Like cancer cases and all, then you cannot give higher potency because the vitality is low.
Doctor, this 200 is also somewhat higher potency. It will do good. Even 30 is also high potency. Even 30 is also one dose of 30 will give good result.
Posology part is also equally important.
Okay.
Yes, giving
Okay.
the remedy, but when the frequency, the wavelength of the potency will not match, then result may vary.
Okay. Okay.
From
Okay,
individual
doctor.
to individual, it can go even haywire if the potency and the posology selection is not done proper.
See, posology, we are not studying posology well. That we are studying by experience. Posology, we are studying by experience only, doctor. According to susceptibility, the depth and duration is differing according to the susceptibility of the patient. Am I correct?
In skill ailments, the LM potency will help.
Okay, LM potency will do good. LM potency will do good. It will avoid the aggravation. Okay. Okay, doctor.
Anyways, nice, because the young physicians are always learning and studying more and more. Then regarding the other off branches, just like the physiotherapy, yoga, there are a lot of things they are studying. Moreover, they are using this computerized repertories so that they can refer a lot of things. It's quite wonderful. Then another thing, the most important aspect in the homeopathy prescription is the medicine. Without the right remedy, without the remedy, we can't expect a thing. Even though the potency is higher or lower, the dose is whatever may be, that is, it is dissolved in water, dry upon tongue. What is more important is the similar medicine. So without the similar medicine, we can't expect nothing from these cases.
Equally important, but it's like they say no touch method in homeopathy. It's not so. The examination is also equally important. We recently lost Dr. O.P. Kapoor. He was a very famous doctor in India, Bombay. So he was having COVID himself, and with the oxygen, he was even teaching the students. He was a professor, even with oxygen, and he said that the show must go on. And he used to examine each and every patient from top to bottom. Every patient was examined, and he used to take half an hour to examine, but he used to see to it that each and every patient are examined. And homeopathy is not no touch method. Knowledge of disease, examination, all holds importance. But the
But
thing
I
here
think
is
that
man in the disease, and the disease and man both are important. And to listen, to hear, the fine senses have to be alert all the time when the patient is visiting. So they have to be alert every time. So once
Yes.
it is alert, then you can catch the characteristic symptoms. That is important.
Okay. Yes. Well, another thing, I think the diet and regimen or the exercises, that too depend upon the medicine. If you prescribe the restores, yes, you can resort to, yes, you can, if you want, you can exercise. But when the medicine is bryonia, you can't. That definitely will aggravate. Just like all these things, it should have an individualistic approach, not only for the medicine, but the potency, dose, the diet and regimen, everything. That is homeopathy. Total homeopathy should be developed in that way.
Yes,
Anybody is
that is the point I would like to add to this session, because I have a different. You have to choose the exercise whether to do or not depend upon the case, and not with a prejudice view that one should stop the medicine, stop exercise during medication. It is absolutely a nonsense. I must say that you have to choose depend upon. For example, when you treat a person from a lifestyle disease, particularly diabetes, thyroid, PCOD, then you have to do exercise in tandem with the medicine. Then you will get the result in the shortest possible time. But for example, but in case of a cardiac case, you have to ask the patient to wait for some time, and then you can have a basic exercise and not severe exercise. And when you get in a good way, then gradually you can start doing exercise. So this is the way one has to choose the methods for using exercise. This is what I would like to add to this session.